biggest spot of shade? Up in there?
Well, sure. Let's all get closer to one spot, maybe. By the alley.
Oh, this is the alley. Roger's used to this, though.
Yeah, I'm used to it. Sure. I'm
Right.
used to triple digits.
Right.
Well, I guess I'll tell you a little bit of history about how the labyrinth came to be. What year was it? About 2000?
That would be 2000, 2001. Yes.
2001. John came to me and said he'd like to install a labyrinth someplace on the ground. I had no idea what he was talking about. So it just so happened this woman from Maine named Marty Kane was doing a workshop over at Moe Ranch in Kerrville. And so John and I went over and did this one-day workshop, and it was a great experience, and she's a wonderful woman. And came back, and then we started looking for the proper space to do it, and we knew we wanted a fairly large space. At the time, this was our back donkey pen. I had cedar trees out here, and we've transplanted some of them, and it was all grasses, native grasses, blue stem, and stuff like that. So my helper at the time, named Celilo, and I cleared everything by hand. We didn't want to bring a tractor in here or anything like that, because we wanted to be a spiritual space. So it took I'd say it took several months for us to clear it. And then when we had it cleared and started to think about how to construct it, we were just playing around and just took a rake and started raking the lines, and it was amazing how quickly the whole thing came together. It was just like, once that happened, it was just a matter of a week or two that we had it planted, and it was on its way to being what it is. The plant material are Berkeley sedges. Some of them are Texas sedges, and they're getting pretty old and worn out. I think this fall and winter we'll probably be doing a redo. And then with climate change happening, it's so hard to keep them watered. So I'm thinking I'd love to reconstruct the whole thing with hardy aloe or something like that. And we're propagating those up here in this space, so we have a lot available to us. I think that would be really neat and be more appropriate to today's climate, because it just works us to death trying to keep these watered. And they're also susceptible to some kind of fungus, mold. If you'll see on the blades, they'll have some yellowing and stuff like that. And a lot of that is a mold. So they're slowly dying out. You can see the center. They hate to be stepped on, and they get stepped on a lot. I know they do. And once that happens, you compact the middle of the sedge, and then no water can get down to the roots. So we've tried flooding, and that doesn't work because the water just runs around them. We take a hose and water straight down, and it won't penetrate that mat. I was digging one up the other day, like right here, and it is so matted from the dead roots that there's nothing getting down there. So I think they've kind of outlived their purpose, and we're going to have to move on to something better. But the labyrinth, basically, I wrote some notes down. Here's a book that we used to sell, and it's a great little book.
Can I take this opportunity to introduce you?
Sure.
And welcome everybody to our second of 3 tours. This is Roger Igo. He's been a grounds person here. He's been at the Natural Gardener for 12 years. Just 9 days less than me. You knew that was coming, right? And this place, if you've been coming here for several years, you've seen how the grounds has transformed, and that is a combination of John's vision and Roger's visions and a lot of people's visions that contribute to it, and a lot of Roger's work and Roger's team on the grounds. It's just, I every once in a while I have a moment out here, whether or not customers here or not, and I just am blown away by the beauty of the grounds. So that's one reason why we wanted to start doing this tour. And I'm Rosina Newton, and I'm the horticulturist, and I've been here 9 days more than Roger. So each of us has been here about 12 years. And so the labyrinth, there's a lot of information or pictures, photos of the creation of the labyrinth on our website, and I encourage you to go to the website naturalgardeneraustin.com for that, those photos. So, and the name of the book is Exploring the Labyrinth by Melissa Gale West.
Just quickly, when we constructed this, I used dowsing rods, divining rods. We used no measuring tools whatsoever, no tapes, no yardsticks or anything like that. What we did, we dowsed for the center, and then we dowsed for the entrance. And we didn't know where the entrance was going to be, but it ended up being over there. The dowsing rods told us to put it there. And then we stood in the center, and we would take the dowsing rods and walk from the center, and as soon as we got the reading, that's when the rods go straight out. We put a surveyor flag, and then we step over and we go this a little bit more. And each ring we did that, and by the end of it took us about half a day to do it. By the end of the day, we had all these surveyor flags, and then we took the surveyor tape and wrapped it around the flags, and suddenly it was a labyrinth. It was amazing. And that's why it's not perfect. Every sedge is not totally lined up and stuff like that, but dowsing is kind of an intuitive practice. You kind of know what you're looking for, and then they just kind of fine-tune that for you. But basically the labyrinth, walking the labyrinth will fulfill 6 important needs, and the first one is deepening spirituality. Second one is inwardness and connection to soul, access to intuition and creativity, simplicity for integration of body and spirit, and intimacy and community. And this book goes into how each of those categories work as you're walking the labyrinth. Basically, it's a tool for centering your body. I know the Vikings used to walk labyrinths before they went out to sea to get centered. You're putting one foot, in front of the other one, slowly walking from the entrance to the center. There's an equal number of left and right turns, so it centers your body, and then you turn around and walk out. There's no wrong turns. It's a very spiritual space. It has kind of become a playground in some way, and I can see how that's possible because it is so much fun to start from the center and the entrance and run to the center as fast as you can, and then a lot of times they run straight across to the TP, so it's it's not always a spiritual experience, but it's pretty amazing. As we were planting the sedges, 2 hawks were circling overhead the center in a spiral, and it was very, very spiritual experience to see something like that. So, and when we work out here, when we weed it and stuff like that, just being inside it gives you a very centering, a very spiritual feeling. So, it is a great tool. It's very fast. You could spend a lot of time trying to get the same fulfillment and stuff, but a labyrinth you can do it fairly quickly. If you're just walking the labyrinth, it's very quick. And so John encourages employees when they're feeling stressed out to just come out and walk the labyrinth, and then go back to work. And
it seems like about the same time as we were planting this, before or after, around that time, a lot of churches in town were installing labyrinths, and I know there are several churches in town that have a labyrinth on their property. It's really nice.
Churches, hospitals, even school campuses, college campuses and stuff like that. And it doesn't really matter what you construct it out of.